Ross Winz, Oldridge, Nebraska. When did I start? March 1955. About 44 years, we'll say. And my dad knew Walt Allmand, because they started out in Huntley, and that's where I partially grew up in Huntley. So my dad suggested I go up and talk to Walt. And that's how I got started there. Started out with 75 cents an hour.
Okay.
And when I started, we was working 48 hours. So 13 hours of that was overtime. And I took home $35 a week. Doesn't sound like very much. At that time, a pair of jeans like this, probably $2, $3. I could buy a good pair of leather boots at JCPenney's for $12. When I started dating my wife, we could go on a date for probably $5. Gas was 26 cents. I drive 22 miles straight west to where she lived, north of Oxford. We drive 22 miles to Holdridge, go to a movie, 50 cents a piece, I think. Go across the street to Hamburger Inn, get a malt for a quarter and a hamburger for a quarter. Originally started rebuilding transformers, like you see hanging out here on the poles. Kind of a dirty old job, because they'd get hit by lightning. They was filled with oil. They'd be hit with lightning, and they actually smelled like a cow lot. And someone came up with charts, so we knew how many winds of wire we put on them. And I wound those back on a little machine that Walton Less had made. And from there I went to winding welder coils, and I built welders for a little while. And then we were just beginning to get into the generator business. So from there I went into winding generators, partially welded them up. Wound them, and the early generators had round holes in them. We dragged that wire to the back, and we'd bring it back over and put it in a different hole, drag it clear out the front door in the summertime. And that's how we wound the coils into those. And it's a wonder we didn't have a lot of shorts in them. By dragging that wire around on the floor. It had a varnish coating on them, but I'm sure we drug a lot of varnish off them. And I was a welder and a winder for a long, long time. We wound the last generator that we built was just before I retired. We were buying most of our generators at that time, because they could actually buy them cheaper than we could build them. And then it got to the point where business grew into these maxi lights and bigger light bulbs. We started out with little ones like on the side of your garage. Had 4 or 5 of those. The first trailers did not have wheels on them. They had skids and a little tower probably as high as this ceiling. And we'd actually pick it up and set it on the trailer. And to extend it, we'd pull a chain. Extend it up. Then we developed stronger light bulbs. I can't remember what they called them. We eventually got into the ones you use now. Well, going back to 55, there were 6 people out on the shop floor.
6 people.
Of course, at that time, I would have never dreamt. I'm sure Walt would have never imagined that it would get to where it is now. And even at the time I retired, I wouldn't have imagined that. I had my little wood shop, and I built dulcimers out there. Built cradles, doll cradles, rocking horses. Built quite a few clocks. Just, mostly hobby stuff, you know. Nothing very big.